Good morning everyone. So today we discuss about a new chapter, that is evolution. So before going to study evolution, what is origin of life comes. So how the life is originated. So the universe is about 20 billion years old and the earth was formed about 4.5 billion years ago, and the atmosphere was not present on early Earth, and the Earth was covered with water vapor, methane, carbon dioxide, and ammonia. The UV rays from the sun splits water into hydrogen and oxygen. The oxygen reacted with ammonia and methane to form ether, carbon dioxide, and other gases. So, when the earth cooled down further, water vapors fell as rain to form oceans. So, life appeared on earth about 4 billion years back only. So, again, here comes panspermia. That is nothing but a here early Greek thinkers thought that units of life called, we can call them as a spores here, were transferred into different planets including our earth. And panspermia is a hypothesis which says that lives come from outside the earth, that is from another celestial body. Spontaneous generation. Some thinkers believe that life came out of decaying and rotting matter like straw, mud, etc. But Louis Pasteur disproved this theory by proving that lives come only from pre-existing life. That is by Operan and Halden proposed that the first form of life came from a pre-existing non-living organic molecules. So that is like RNA, protein, etc. They proposed that formation of life was proceeded by chemical evolution. Derives organic molecule were formed from a inorganic constituents during the course of chemical evolution. That we can say Miller's experiment here. So Miller's experiment says that in 1953, Harold Urey and Stanley Miller began working on this problem at the Chicago University, and Miller was graduated student of Urey at the university and working for a PhD. So as a part of his research, he devised a glass apparatus, and this apparatus is called as a spark discharge apparatus, and they created an atmosphere in the laboratory similar to what existed on the earth about 4 billion years ago, and a closed tank was filled with CH4, NH3 and H2 and also water vapor. So they created an electronic discharge at a 800 degrees Celsius in the tank, and Miller observed the sugars, nitrogenous bases, pigments and fats. So that is a formation of amino acids, and these experiments proved that the hypothesis of Operon and Halden. Thus chemical evolution became an accepted theory of origin of life here. So you can see the glass apparatus here, which is a spark discharge apparatus, and here you can which is the formation of amino acids, that is a fat, protein, carbon dioxide, etc. So next, first we start with the theories. First theory is Lamarckism. It is also called theory of inheritance of acquired characters and was proposed by a great French naturalist, that is Jean-Baptiste de Lamarck, in 1809 AD. In his famous book Philosophic Geology, this theory is based on the comparison between the that is a contemporary species of his time to fossil record till now. This theory is based on the inheritance of acquired character, and which are defined as the changes developed in the body of an organism from normal character and in response to the change in environment or in the functioning of organs in their own lifetime and to fulfill their new needs. So thus Lamarck stressed on adaptation by means of evolutionary modifications. So we can see the main postulates of a Lamarckism. The first one is the new needs. Every living organism is found in some kind of environment. The change in the environmental factor like light, temperature, medium, food, air, etc. or migration of animal lead to the origin of new needs in the living organisms, that is especially animals. So to fulfill these new needs, the living organisms have to exert special efforts like the changes in habits or a behavior. So use and disuse of organs. The second postulate. New habitats involve the greater use of certain organs to meet new needs and the disuse or a lesser use of certain other organs which offer no use in new conditions. So this use and disuse of organs greatly affected the form, structure and functioning of the organs. So here the continuous and extra use of organs make them more efficient, while the continued disuse of some other organs lead to their degeneration and ultimate disappearance. So Lamarckism is also called theory of use and disuse of organs. So the organism acquires certain new characters due to direct or indirect environmental effects during its own lifespan and are called acquired or adaptive characters mainly. So next, inheritance of acquired character, that is a third postulate. So here Lamarck believed that the acquired character are inheritable and are transmitted to the offspring, so that these are born fit to face the changed environmental conditions and the chance of their survival are increased. Next, speciation. So Lamarck believed that in every generation new characters are acquired and transmitted to next generation, so that new characters accumulate generation after generation. That is nothing but after a number of generations a new species is formed. So according to a Lamarck, an existing individual is the sum total of characters acquired by a number of previous generations, and the speciation is a gradual process. So here are the summary of these four postulates, that a living organism or their component parts tend to increase in the size and the production of new organ is resulted from a new need, and a continued use of an organ makes it more developed, while disuse of an organ results in degeneration. So acquired characters or modifications developed by individuals during their own lifetime are inheritable and accumulate over a period of time, resulting a new species here. So these are evidences, the main examples of a Lamarckism. So first is a phylogenetic studies of a horse, elephant and other animals show that all these increases in their evolution for simple to a complex form. So first one is a giraffe. That is a development of present day long neck and a long forehead necked giraffe from deer like ancestor. So by the gradual elongation of neck and forelimbs in response to de- so in response to deficiency of a food on the barren ground in a dry desert of Africa. So these body parts were elongated so as to eat the leaves on the tree branches. So this is an example of effect on extra use and elongation of certain organs. So next, snake. Development of present day limbless snakes with a long slender body from the limbed ancestor due to continued disuse of limbs and stretching of their body to suit their creeping mode of location and a fossil mode of living out of fear of a larger and a more powerful mammals. So it is an example of disuse and degeneration of certain organs. So next, aquatic birds. Here development of aquatic birds like ducks, geese, etc. from their terrestrial ancestor by the acquired characters like reduction of wings due to their continued disuse and degeneration of certain organs. And these changes were induced due to deficiency of food on land and a severe competition. So it is an example of both extra use and disuse of organs like wings, right, skin between the toes. Next, flightless birds, fifth example. So development of flightless birds like ostrich from flying ancestors due to continued disuse of wings as these were found in well protected areas with plenty of food. Is horses. So the ancestors of modern horse used to live in the areas with soft ground and were short legged with more number of functional digits, for example like a 4 functional fingers and 3 functional toes in the down horse Euphues. These gradually took to live in areas with a dry ground, and this changes in habit was accompanied by increase in length of legs and a decrease in functional digits for a fast running over hard ground. So these are a 5 Lamarckism examples is nothing but evidences which he saw, right? Thank you.